All right, back on Morning Line. Our guest is Josh Horn from Social Security. You know what? Phone lines, as I always warn, load up, but you guys got in early. Let's get to your questions quickly. Josh will try to answer them, and let's rock and roll. We'll go to Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Yes, hi, how are you all?
Good, ma'am.
Okay, here's my question. Well, first I got to make this statement. I was awarded disability Social Security in 2011. However, the judge denied my retro benefits due to the fact that I worked for 3 months in 2009. Can I challenge that decision and apply for those benefits that are owed to me, the 2.5 years that I was not paid for?
That's interesting that they take away all of it just because she worked 3 months at one point there. Is there a way she can appeal that?
It's not really uncommon. You do have appeal rights, but your appeal rights are for 60 days after the decision. So if this decision was made in 2011, I believe you're outside your appeals period.
Shoot. But that could be enough to have hurt her retroactive. That was 2 years of retroactive pay. It would have been a nice chunk of change. Yeah. But she worked a few months there, and that could have cost her.
And we see, this is not uncommon. We see some folks who have this period and they went to work for 3 or 4 or 5 months, and then they got laid off for reasons other than disability, and that's an automatic situation where we're not going to be able to go before that.
All right, Melissa, that was a good question, and I'm sorry for you on that, Melissa. Let's go to Jane. Hi, Jane.
I have one quick comment and one question.
Sure, ma'am.
But people that are applying for disability have got to be patient and follow through every little process. I went through it with my husband a few years ago, and you do not miss a step, and you got to be patient. Sometimes it seemed a little bit redundant, but we kept on trading through, and it took about 18 months.
Man, great advice, and that's about the timetable, so good for you.
And my question is, I started drawing my Social Security at age 62. I did not work for the next 4 years. Since then, I have worked some more, and I have been paying into the system. Now, my question is, can mine maybe be looked at and readjusted and maybe get additional benefit?
So that's possible. We take the highest 35 years of indexed earnings to compute your benefits. So whatever your earnings record is, there may be some zeros in there. There may be full of wages, and we'll take and index that to today's standards, and then calculate the highest 35 years to come up with your benefit amount. So if you went back to work, it may drop out one of those low years, or if you have some 0 years in there, and that could raise it up $4, $5, $10, something like that. And you can ask to have a recomputation of your benefits done, but they do that automatically, usually in the summertime, after the taxes are all posted, the prior year's taxes are posted. But you can always either bring a W-2 in if it's January, February, or March, or you can just call and say, hey, I want to just double check, make sure I'm getting everything I can, and have that recalculated. But they do that automatically periodically.
Gotcha. All right, hope that helps. Let's go to Tom. Hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Nick and Josh.
Hi.
I got one quick statement. If someone is not able to get Social Security disability because of the 10-year and the 5-year work period in that time, because this happened to my wife, and she ended up getting a Social Security supplemental income disability. And my question is this, because I'm a service-connected disabled veteran, I draw service-connected disability compensation. Well, when I got an increase on mine, and me and the veteran service officer looked up the Social Security bylaws, and it says that the first thing it says that does not affect Social Security in any way is veterans benefits. That's non-taxable income. And because I got an increase, they stopped her check, and then they took her insurance later. And now they sent her a letter from the judge saying the reason they stopped her check was because of my disability, because of my pension.
Okay.
And
taxable income. But I don't get a pension. I draw disability compensation because I got hurt serving my country back in the 70s.
Right, and it's called, it's considered
so they should have, from the bylaws, it said they should have never stopped it. And they waited 90-something days to send her a thing saying that they did that, but that's the reason they stopped it.
Okay.
The judge never knew that I was not drawing.
And have they ever restored it?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, and the catch there, and you said it, I believe, in there somewhere, is that she is not drawing Social Security disability, she's drawing SSI disability. So if she was drawing Social Security disability, or you were drawing Social Security disability, a veteran's pension, or what this is would be a disability pension, would have no effect on it. However, she's drawing SSI disability, which is a different rules, and any income coming into the household can affect SSI benefits, and so that's where the hang-up is here, is that if she's drawing SSI benefits, any kind of veterans benefits or any other kind of money coming into the house will affect that.
Yeah, and just for folks, real quick, and I know we've got more calls, but the difference between SSI and Social Security disability, so he can understand that. There's a good reason why SSI is as stringent as it comes when it comes to that
Social Security disability is what you've worked and paid into. So, and we talked about the working 5 out of the last 10 years, and that's called being currently insured. But then also, you know, you have to pay over a lifetime, and that would be insured for retirement benefits. But you're paying into that. SSI, you're not paying into that. That's coming out of general tax funds, and that's a needs-based program based on your any income and resources of the household, and it is very stringent because it's trying to help keep families, and I know it never feels like it's enough, but it's trying to keep families at the poverty level, or you know, trying to get them something.
And these are people drawing who have never put into the system sometimes.
It's either you've never put into the system, or sometimes, and it sounds like this may be a situation where you put in some, but then you didn't work for a while, then you became disabled, so you didn't qualify for disability. So you might file for SSI. Unfortunately, we do see some folks who are technically denied because they haven't paid in recently to Social Security, so they're not eligible for Social Security, and their spouse's income or their spouse's, you know, or something in the household is preventing them from qualifying for SSI, and that really puts them in a hard spot.
Let's go to Roy. Hi, Roy.
Howdy.
Howdy, Roy. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm retired at my maximum age.
Okay.
And I work part-time, and I was trying to find out, do I need to take my W-2 form at the end of the year and carry it to Social Security or anything?
No, the IRS data after you file taxes automatically comes over to our system and posts to your record. And of course, if you're over your full retirement age, you can make as much as you want to, and I encourage you to. So
yeah, good for you. Yeah, you have to pay taxes on what you're earning, you know, now, but it will not affect your benefit. Once you're full retirement, you can make $5 million next year, and it will not affect your retirement money. You get that check no matter what. You've earned it, my friend.
All right. That's my question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate you calling. That's the nice thing. You know, go ahead and do that. And who knows, if he's making enough that replaces some of the income levels from his prior years, he could even see a modest boost in the amount of money he gets in his Social Security check. 31, how many years back?
35.
35.
Yeah, top 35.
Top 35.
Indexed years.
Yeah, so it's something to think about. Let's go next to Danny. Hi, Danny.
Yes, I got a question about Social Security. It's my father passed away a few years ago, and I've been drawing SSI check ever since 1977. And I was told that I would be able to draw his Social Security.
So you can draw off of you can draw what they call disabled adult child benefits off of a parent who passed away or is drawing disability if you were disabled before age 22, and that's something that you would then apply for. But we would also take a look and see, you know, for some reason you're drawing more on your own record, which is a little bit rare if you were disabled that early in life. But that is something we can definitely take a look at.
Okay, so I just talked to a Social Security lawyer.
Well, no, not a lawyer. You can just call us and file for disabled adult child benefits.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Do I get a phone number? Do I get to talk to somebody after we hang up about this?
Yeah, absolutely. The national 800 number where you can call and set up an appointment is 1-800-772.
What was that? 1-800 what?
772-1213.
772 what?
1213.
1213. Okay, so that's 1-800.
772-1213, and I'll give that out again at the end of the show. So I know not everyone had a pen and paper right there, but that was good. That's, you know, a lot of times we just throw out numbers sometimes. If you know it, call this number. No one's sitting at home with a pen and paper, you know, right on their lap. It takes a second, and that was a good example just now with Danny of how long it takes sometimes to have to write something down, and he did it pretty quick. But again, Danny, that's 800 number. It's toll free, 772-1213. You tell them where you live. They can arrange the appointment with the local office.
Yep.
And he can look into it. Maybe a benefit he can get money from. Let's go, let's see, to Glenda. Hi, Glenda.
Hi.
Hey.
I have a question this morning. I initially was working at a company and I became disabled, and I ended up getting my Social Security disability benefits before I was able to get my long-term disability benefits. And finally, I was approved, and now they're saying that I was overpaid with my Social Security disability benefits, and now they're saying that I owe them back. But they are going to give me they are going to be making payments to me. Being that they're going to be making payments to me, I have a two-part question on that. Will I owe... will that decrease my benefits with Social Security disability, being that being the long-term disability is saying that they overpaid me, because normally they want you to be able to get your Social Security disability while you're getting your long-term. But mine happened on the opposite way. I ended up getting my Social Security disability benefits versus receiving my long-term disability.
Yeah, when it comes to long-term disability, that's through a private insurer, and Social Security doesn't care one way or another with them. I mean, that's something that some people have, some people don't, but it's for Social Security benefits, it's considered non-earned income or unearned income because you're not working. And so for Social Security benefits, that we don't care. Now that's different from SSI, but for Social Security, you can have that income with long-term disability. But if their rules about I don't know how you got overpaid, or if they're saying, or if they've got rules about Social Security, you'll have to check with them. But as far as Social Security is concerned, we're not going to worry about how much you're getting from a long-term insurance program.
Good. Before we go to our break, we'll squeeze in Brian. Hi, Brian. Hang on. There he is. Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, this is a question for my lady friend. We know it's 35 years for your that they average your highest 35 years. That's applicable to me. But for her, what's the minimum number of years that she could work full time to get Social Security?
Well,
what's the minimum amount you can work in order to draw any Social Security?
Right.
So you have to have at least 10 years of work in order to draw even just a little bit. And so to earn one, you have to have 40, I know this gets a little technical, you have to have 40 quarters of coverage. You can earn up to 40 in a year. 1 quarter of coverage is $1,300 in gross income or net profits. So 1,300 times 4 is whatever, 3,200 or whatever that number is. So if you make at least $3,500, $4,000 in a year, you're going to get that. You're going to qualify for that year. You have to have at least 10 of those years to just get $1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll probably only get $1 or $2 if you're making the least amount. But then after that is where we can actually calculate a higher amount. So hopefully that answers.
Okay, well, 10 years was the answer, essentially. 10 years is what she has to go back. If you've worked only 5 years, you will not have built up enough to collect any Social Security.
Right.
Okay. The bottom line is the longer you work, the more money you get. And that corresponds with how much money you earn if it's up to that $125,000 level. If you're making the maximum and you work 35 years, over 35 years that much, you get the most. I think I'm in my 35 years now. I think I've worked for 35 years. Now, haven't made a lot of money in that 35 years, but enough to definitely qualify. We'll take a break on that note. When we come back, more of your phone calls. Danny, Eddie, and others, stay there. We'll get to you right after this.